And
should count down.
I have an Uncle Alan story.
Oh, right out of the gate, just we have Uncle Alan stories just coming at it. We are, I think, live right now,
I
so
think so.
I think we might actually be doing the thing.
Oh,
So
cool.
if not,
I saw
it says
record.
what?
Yeah,
Well, it
20
said it.
seconds
All
in.
right, there we are. Okay, so we did it. At
We
least
did.
we started it. Now, is this being broadcast anywhere? That I don't know, because this is we'll call it a test run. Like
Yes.
we had, I had the software before, but this is our very first time getting into a room and talking wrestling.
Yes.
I was talking to my friend Ashley, who is my co-host for this wonderful experience here, about her wrestling background and experience. And she mentioned she wanted to hurry up and get this done because she has to finish SmackDown, and tomorrow's the Royal Rumble, which traditionally has been my favorite pay-per-view of the year, always, going back to when I was a kid and the very first ones and all that stuff. So definitely want to talk about some WWE, or AKA the Fed, as the old school brothers will remember it as, with my new friend Ashley. So
Hello.
also my uncle might be retiring. So it's a mixed bag of emotions right now for me. We got to give a shout out to Uncle AJ to make sure he's going to be okay, though, guys. I promise. All right. Ashley, do this while I try to make sure that we are being broadcast anywhere. Right now, I don't think we are. But I'm recording. So if nothing else, we can always get this after the fact. But we were trying to reach our friends in the Falcons Nest to get some guinea pig fans for this. You are in.
Nest.
Hey, Nest. If you can hear us anyway.
And I don't know which Ashley I am, so we're Ashley.
So here's the problem as it pertains to the Nest and so as a side note, I've known the Big LG literally since his very first matches, I think, in the professional wrestling business, which is probably 25 years ago at this point. I get dropped on my head a lot, so I'm going to be very bad at dates if I tell you stories. But that is back in the early days with manager Justin Case, as the Big LG and I were making towns all through beautiful West Virginia.
Nice. Very nice.
So I am looking at my channel and I don't know that we're broadcasting anywhere, but that's okay. That's the one thing I wasn't sure of with
what we're doing.
Well, definitely not sure what we're doing, but also if we were sending this anywhere. Like the recording part I was good with because I'm using voiceover software and all that fun stuff, but I do not as of yet see us being live here. So which I did want to do just for the Good Brothers. I wanted to make sure we had something to show them. But if nothing else, we can always upload this, and like you said, we'll shine it up and make sure it works.
Yeah.
All right, talk to me about the WWE, because I don't watch as much wrestling as I used to, and when I do, I've been a little bit more of an AEW, New Japan kind of fan, really because a lot of my friends and people that I've known work in those companies a little more than they do, and the product has changed a little bit for the WWE and how they cultivate their talent. So I want to hear more about. I watched Saturday Night's Main Event. I watched just because of Uncle Alan and Shinsuke having a return match 10 years after what was one of my favorite matches of all time. Again, back in New Japan when they wrestled before they both came back to the States. So, that's one of the things where, and Ashley, maybe you can talk about this a little bit. One of the things I love about professional wrestling, and always has, is like storytelling like that is is romantic. It really is. Like that story of their relationship and their growth and everything like that. And then being able to kind of like uh have that conveyed by the commentators and all that stuff. One of the things that I popped for, I'm sorry, I one of the things I papped for uh during AJ's match with CM Punk was my former tag team partner Corey Graves talking about our early days in NWA Wildside. Got a shout out on WWE television. So I texted Corey, and I think I remember that exact loop that he's talking about because Corey is a couple years younger than I am. So I had the opportunity at literally when he turned 18 to kind of take him on the road a little bit. But we were talking about the early days of AJ Styles, and at that point, it was AJ and his tag team partner, a guy named Air Paris, who I remember and loved, and I wish stuck around the wrestling business a little longer than he did. Uh, but I believe that was AJ and Air Paris working Joey Matthews, aka Joey Mercury, and Christian York, who were an amazing tag team. They had a great run in ECW back in the day. And then when ECW went away, they were doing that for a little bit. So that's kind of the old school story about like AJ and where he came from. You're going to be more familiar with the new school. So I didn't even realize that he was contemplating retirement until my friends kind of mentioned, "Hey, this might be his last match on Monday Night Raw." So I tuned in, and that's kind of what immediately brought back those stories and like I said, that kind of romantic uh, aspect of professional wrestling for me anyway. And I was curious what you would think. Like, first of all, how long have you been watching wrestling? Let's start with the basics.
Oh gosh. I was like 6 or 7, I want to say. The first time I saw it just pop up on TV, but one of my first memories was seeing either Sunshine or Precious pop up as a manager valet, and I was like, I kind of want to do that. And I'm like this little
Wow.
kid. I'm like, I think I want to do that one day. But yeah, I've been watching like youth side was off and on because life, but consistent since gosh, what, 12? So, and I'm 46 now. So, yeah, I've been watching for a
Don't say
very
that.
I've been watching for a very, very long time. And let's see, as far as like we'll talk about that more another day. But um as far
Not a
as
deep dive. Not a deep dive on our very first show,
no,
actually.
for
You
sure.
gotta
No, we
not
gotta hold that back. But
not
um
today.
AJ, the first time I saw AJ was on TNA.
This
And
this is a great that's a great place to start. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, that first of all, I'm a girl. I'm like, that's hot. Number two, I was like, he's real good, right?
Listen,
So
I'll listen as another Styles in his 40s with good hair. I do appreciate that AJ is holding up nicely
he
for a
is.
seasoned veteran as he
Those
is
cold
now.
plunges do him well. Um, but yeah, I remember just like the first time watching him and watching Samoa Joe and all them, doing their thing, Christopher Daniels doing their thing. And then one day he was gone. And I was like, this show's not that great anymore. So I took a very, very, very long break from TNA, and I moved out here to Vegas, and I worked at one of the banks out here, and one of the guys was like, I need you to see this video. And I was like, what is it? And he's showing me this video of Kenny Omega, and I'm like, who's this? Where's this? He's like, it's New Japan. I'm like, they're still around. And he's like, yeah, AJ Styles is doing this, this, and this. I'm like, what? So clearly I missed a lot of that. But when I found out he was coming back to the States, I was super excited. I remember screaming during the Rumble when he came out, and then almost breaking into tears when he tells Chris Van Vliet that he wants to retire. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because and this is gonna go into my AJ story. So the first SummerSlam after the pandemic, the boys have boozing with the boys out here, and they got extra brother, just this them
A little
Rocky. Yes,
brother up back. That's before we had sober brother Carl
yes,
on the scene. So
yes, before he went repentant. And my best friend and we had rode over to where they were having their show, not realizing they were having a show. We were going to the Ziggler show the night
the
after.
comedy show.
Yeah. And so we walk in and the guy's like, hey, do you want to stay for the Good Brother show? We're like, well, yes, we do. So we walk
Wait, Dolph
in.
Ziggler opened up for the Good Brothers?
No, he was the show the next day. We were
Oh,
just trying
still
to see where
counts.
we were going, but we just was like, why are these cars here? So we walked in, and there we were like, well, of course we do. And we walk in, and somehow Gallo's wife was standing next to my best friend, and she was talking to a security guard, and I heard the word Alan. And I was like, what? And I just kept walking, and of course, my best friend didn't put two and two together, and they're doing the show. Next thing you know, you hear AJ's song pop, and AJ walks on the stage, and they're like hugging, and everyone's yelling and screaming, and I'm like snapping all these crazy pictures. And it was one of those where, okay, first of all, SummerSlam, how did AJ get there? That was, it was super awesome. To see that. And yeah, but this whole, I want to say the last year, I didn't realize until somebody said it, we've been saying goodbye to AJ this whole time, and I really hope that tomorrow is not his last, because I want to see him get in the ring again with Leon Slater 101. I want to see him and Finn. I
You
want to
want
see so
well,
many
that's
things,
both.
but
I
it's
was
like
gonna
at
say
the
you
same
want the
time.
new school thing, because when John Cena retired, one of the things that John talked about a lot in his kind of post-retirement or leading up to that is that he wanted to kind of shine the spotlight on that next generation. So,
Right.
but then you also mentioned Finn Balor, aka Ferg. Uh,
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, especially after
but
what
again,
happened
they have
Monday.
so much. They have well now, yeah, but they have so much history
And they have
going, like you said,
history.
back to Japan,
Yeah.
and obviously with the Bullet Club and everything like that. There's so much. And again, I mentioned this before I managed to figure out how to turn us on where we were streaming, but wrestling can be very romantic, and those are
Yeah.
great examples of like that sort of like that long-term story arc where if you are somebody like you or like I that have followed Uncle Alan's career or been a part of it for you know over 2 decades now,
Right.
you're
You
going to
wanna
remember those
see
kind of
that.
things.
You wanna see, like, those you want the story to keep going, but, you also understand that, hey, this is his body, and he's making a choice, and as much as I don't wanna be in tears tomorrow because he's saying goodbye, I understand. He, being able to be a part of Mia Yim's journey, being a part of so
Mhm.
many different people's journey along the way. He's given so much to the business that it's like, you know what, thank you. But at the same time, it's like, please don't go. But no, like
Now,
I
here's a question for you
appreciate
though,
you
because like
out
we
there.
just saw John Cena retire,
Right.
and John announced his retirement. Like it's going to go to this date, and everybody kind of knew that was going to be it for him. Do you think part of it is that what the rumor was, or what AJ said on CVV show? By the way, great job in one take getting CVV in there, and also Drew's big, beautiful shoot Barbie wife, doctor wife, all in the same thing. So we just want to drop in all the names we could possibly drop.
Exactly.
But like, it's good for the algorithm. It's fine. But one of the things that John talked about, or that AJ talked about, is that he thought 2026 was going to be his last year of wrestling. Do you think, because of the way John Cena's last run went, that, like you kind of alluded to, you think fans not expected, but like now they might feel, I guess robbed is probably a good word for it. If AJ does retire tomorrow, do you think fans would be upset or feel robbed of that, the opportunity to give him the flowers that he obviously deserves over the course of a Hall of Fame career?
As the fan in the room, I feel robbed because it's not in the US. As the fan in the room,
Really?
yes, I feel robbed because he doesn't get to retire in his hometown. But
Well,
also,
here's the messed up thing
ooh,
is John Cena was originally supposed to retire in Boston,
I think that was
and
part of it, and then they changed the stuff, and that was kind of
they
weird. But my
changed it
thing was with
because
John was
they
like,
could. Well, listen,
you gave me a timeline. I know what you're going to be. You're not you're going away, but you're not going away because you said, "Hey, I'm going to be still with the
but
WWE, but not
but
on TV."
they changed
But
the
they changed his
venues
state in his
because they
venue.
knew they can make more money if they did it in DC
Exactly.
instead of Boston. So,
Right. And I get that too. As a fan who can look at it on the business end, hey, they're getting a lot of money going to Saudi. More power to them. But hey, would be nice for him to, even if it's not in Georgia, can we get up to Survivor Series? Can we get like a super old school Survivor Series match and then, a little special match for him? I don't know. I'm just,
what would be? I was going to say, what would be if you were going to fantasy book AJ Styles 2026? Obviously, it doesn't end tomorrow, but where would he go from there? Had a great run as a tag team. He's got to wrestle a lot of his old rivals, where they're kind of closing up a little bit of those things.
Mhm.
What's left?
Like I said, I would love for him to, even if it's my career in WWE is over, I would love for him to show up in TNA and Leon Slater get that dream match. Him and Frankie, one more good time. Just those little small things. But again, like I said, that's the fan in me. But realistically, I get it. You're getting older. You've got a family. You've got it, things that you have not been able to do because you've traveled around the world for my entertainment. If you're ready to go, more power to you.
God, wrestling is romantic. What do you
Yes.
think of Gunther being the guy now? We have Bill Goldberg, John Cena, now AJ Styles potentially
Yeah.
ending their careers all to the same, with respect to Randy Orton, the legend killer that
Right.
Gunther has become. Um, which I think, just from a marketing standpoint, first of all, he's been amazing forever. The way Here's the problem, from a guy booking the territory, old school, trying to figure out how they get out of this. Uh, Gunther can't lose this match tomorrow. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense business wise. So
Right.
that was when it sunk into me to go, oh crap, this might actually be it.
Yeah.
And there was a post on Instagram by Shinsuke Nakamura that sort of
Mhm.
also kind of alluded to that, but it got people thinking and it got people worried that, to your point, we're not going to get that AJ Styles final kind of farewell run where he
Right.
does get one more match in Georgia. He does get one more match in North Carolina. He does, like going back to the old territories and letting those kind of like older, uh, more dedicated fans get their opportunity to say their goodbye.
Right.
Is it fair? Is it fair, to, as you mentioned, these guys, wrestling in general, like it's about entertaining fans. It's about smiles on faces.
Mhm.
Uh, Somebody once told me. Is it fair to the fans if, obviously I understand that we'll say politics around the WWE deciding to run more shows overseas, and
Mhm.
the their new corporate bosses deciding that financially that makes sense for them to do. I get it. It is the wrestling business does have the word business in it, even
Exactly.
if we don't agree with that word of the business. So I kind of mentioned it before. You said Survivor Series and all that. So if somehow there's a schmoz finish tomorrow where uh you know AJ somehow wins, but like Gunther takes him out, or uh Gunther beats him so bad that the ref reverses the decision. So technically AJ
Right.
didn't lose the match, so he doesn't
Mhm.
have to retire. Like, but then again, as we kind of like go from there, what does that do? First of all, like we said, Gunther's not losing. Like, he's certainly not getting beat by AJ after he just retired John Cena. It just doesn't make sense at all for what you did and with that kind of thing. So, how does the WWE get out of this where Uncle Allen can continue to wrestle and entertain? And you say you're the fan. Listen, before I ever got dropped on my head in a professional wrestling ring, I was a fan. I remain a fan, and you have to be a fan of this business to travel up and down the roads for little to no money and get beat up for a living or a lack of living on the indies. So yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I've been thinking about this for the last couple days. Brock Lesnar comes out in F5's AJ.
Oh, you have an
That's the
actual
way
fantasy
out.
booking here. All right.
Like, that's the way. Okay. Little bit about me. I book a fake wrestling show. So I'm always doing this in my head
Listen,
for
as
the
as
last
one of the
7
best
months. I've
television
been booking
champions
a
in
fake
EWF
wrestling show.
wrestling history, if you want to talk about, I'm talking about the old school E-Feds. I was one of the characters in my first video game. This is like early 2000s. And I was a great television champion because I had very high charisma and good mic skills. Couldn't wrestle. It was a little on the nose. But good for TV.
Yeah, so
That's awesome that you do that though. Like,
yeah. So you might meet the characters every once in a while. We you're able to keep this up because you never know when they'll come out. But yeah, so if Brock F5's AJ Gunther gets the DQ, right?
technically, yeah.
So technically, so
Or if they throw the match out. If it's a no
right,
contest, he didn't lose.
exactly.
So,
So
all
they
right.
they have a way
You're
to
getting
kind of
me.
put that on the back burner only because they're yeah, and this is just what you hear from people talking. Um, what if
Well, if it's on the
it
internet, it's
turns
true.
into
I've
right?
learned
What if
that.
it turns into Brock and Gunther because you know Minnesota is now going to be the next big stop. So then it will put AJ to
Listen,
the
there's rumors
side a
that
little
Brock
bit.
might be winding down too. So if
And
that's where it
that's
goes,
what they say. So I thought about that, but again, fan of me says let's get this maybe at least to SummerSlam or a Saturday night main event. Give us a little something. Business minded Ashley says he's did what he needed to do.
that
And
was my question. What's left?
you know,
Like, like how does he?
like honestly, there's nothing left. He's done it all. And on top of it, and I don't know how many people caught this because you mentioned Shinsuke. They're setting up a Shinsuke Tama situation too, because they keep meeting backstage, speaking to each other in Japanese. So they're trying to make sure that they keep our minds thinking and get us away from other things like, all right, well, is AJ leaving? Is who's leaving? Oh my gosh, now they're setting this up. Where is this going to go? So they're trying to keep us intrigued, and I appreciate it, but that's an aside.
No,
But
it's great. It's a weird segue because of Hot Carl being, and I say this all the time. If people ask, and they do, the actual innovator of the quote unquote forbidden door is the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. I was there in Japan. Uh, we're on the same flight on the way over there, by the way.
okay,
So Carl on the way over there when he was the never open weight champion in Japan. but was under contract with the WWE when they
Yep,
went back, and they, you
I
know,
recall.
that was, I think he might have worked Hikuleo, but then he ended up eventually working with
Yep,
Tama,
mm,
which
I
those were
recall. But yeah,
it was
like
simpler times.
there's so many different storylines being woven in, and it's like you said, it's a romantic, beautiful story, and a lot of people don't see it, and shame on them. But yeah,
Listen,
fantasy book.
we can watch gay hockey shows if you want. If you need
Fantasy book.
something a little.
I honestly would love, fantasy booking to see him go as up to midsummer. Now I'm not gonna go, Survivor Series. Yeah,
Well, what's he
maybe
gonna do?
summer,
That was kind of the question. I listen. I understand. Nobody wants him to go.
but
Like I think that's
yeah,
so
it is what
selfishly.
it is.
Nobody wants
Selfishly,
him. Yeah, nobody
selfishly.
wants him to go. But what
But
do we do with him
what
between
we do with
Royal
them
Rumble?
is we do the Christian contract. Hey, we'll take so and so, you take AJ.
Now listen, uh,
I mean,
AJ showed up on TNA's first show on AMC. Like
and he
it
did, and everyone
obviously,
was locked in. Everyone
yes.
was locked in. He showed up at several key different spots. So that's making, a lot of fans go, well, maybe because the way he versed it was, good Lord, I am ending my WWE career. He did not
Is that
say, he said, yeah, basically is what he said, WWE. He did not
This is why I'm
say,
happy you're here because that's a if that's true, that's a great catch, by the way, because
yeah,
that's exactly the
everyone and
sort
their
of like
mother's been
nuanced
calling
thing.
that out. It's that little key point, right? So if that's the case, then that's why I'm saying high possibility that this man can go from the E to TNA, give us a little something, or as they were saying the other day, end up over at New Japan or Noah or somewhere, hang out with the boys. We don't know,
Listen,
but
Noah would be interesting.
I again, I want him to do what's best for him, even though the fan in me is like, please stay and don't leave me. I like when Cena left, I was kind of like, I feel like because we had that, we knew it was happening, we were good, right? I'm like,
You can kind of
we
brace
can't
you,
expect
you
that
brace
from
yourself better
everybody.
for the breakup. You have more
Right.
time to
We
kind of
were
prepare
prepared.
for that, like
We were prepared, but we can't expect that for everybody. As we all know, we don't know when it's someone's last time in the ring.
right.
We just don't. We don't know. And
And
things,
we don't either. And that's kind of the you
right.
know,
I'm at SmackDown the night before Mania, and Ray gets injured, changes
right.
the whole show.
Yeah.
So again, you don't know. And if you're able to say, hey, this is my day and I'm done, I'm happy for you.
There are
Fan
not a
is
lot of
sad, but I'm
people.
happy for you.
There are not a lot of people. It's kind of an old trope, like where no wrestler ever really retires. You know what I mean?
Right.
John Cena is the first guy that even as I believe him. I believe he's
Mhm.
never going to put the jorts back on, and he's never going to wrestle another match in his life. However, as a guy who has been on wrestling shows with Jerry the King Lawler at nearly 70 years old and who almost died on national television,
Right.
who still goes out and wrestles. One of the things that I remember from my early career was like people asking him even then 20 years ago, well, when are you going to retire? And Jerry, uh, I'm pretty sure it was him, said, well, I'll retire when they stop booking me. And that's,
Right. And I
you know what
get
I
it.
mean?
Yeah, and I get it. And it's nice to be able to say, I'm done. And tell people, hey, this is it.
Listen,
But at the
I
same
can't
time,
think.
it's like, oh, because now we're gonna expect fanfare for AJ, fanfare for Randy, fanfare for Brock, fanfare for this person and this person, and that's just not how it goes, right? It
No,
is when it's over, it's over. We might not even know when it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been saying, you don't know when it's going to be over, so we just have to enjoy what we have And we all got our AJ stories.
So, first of all, beautifully said. And that's tomorrow. That's the Royal Rumble. So, one thing that's happened is Gunther actually declared that he was going to be in the actual Royal Rumble
He
itself. AJ
did.
did not.
He did not.
So, I mean, so I had a scenario in my brain where the only way this makes sense is for Gunther to lose somehow against AJ, but then also have to come back and win the Royal Rumble, which is
Mhm.
actually my prediction of what happens.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah.
Right. But AJ didn't declare. What do you think? Who wins the Rumble? Since I know you've got dinner on the way here, but I did want to get a little bit of predictions
Yeah.
for the Rumble itself because I again haven't watched the WWE as closely as I have in the past.
Mhm.
Obviously, a personal story with AJ kind of got me to tune back in. But my pick for the men would be Gunther. I
Mm,
know most folks think Liv Morgan for the women. Um,
mm,
but again, I'm not as familiar with what is happening from a week to week basis for
mhm.
the Fed right now. So, what do you think? You're
So
the expert
for
here.
the men's, I've been going back and forth because we know Elimination Chamber is going to be after that, so anything can happen. Um, Part of me wants to say Gunther, but part of me wants to say Austin Theory.
Wow,
I know. And
that
it's
is
and that's because I've listened to a lot of wrestling talk, and
it's a
the
dark
the
horse pick. I'll say
point the
that it's
point
if
I mean, the whole vision's in it. He
right.
he's he can turn on him. He was one of Mr. McMahon's choices. He's clearly somehow gotten back in the graces of H and TKO. Um, does
We
he
didn't do anything
necessarily have
wrong.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
what he
did he?
did. I heard he might have did something wrong. I heard he was injured. We don't really know. But at the end of the day, it would just be that cool little story, another little side story. I also would like to see Obafemi come in and win because why not? Um, and,
That is
uh,
strapping the rocket to somebody, and not saying that Oba doesn't deserve it because everything I've ever seen about that guy is he,
fantastic.
yeah, exactly. I mean, what do you say?
It's something
You know,
he makes you tune in. On the
yeah.
women's side, I'm pretty murky. I don't want to see the same people win, but I don't know who I want to see win. You know what I mean? They had a great story going on with Naomi. She got pregnant. Um, Becky's got her own. I love it.
Becky would be my
I just
backup
call
pick.
it this. Um, my heart
Fair.
wants Bailey,
Oh,
but
my heart does. My heart
oh,
always wants Bailey.
she's amazing. But there's something about if they let Natty be released.
I
If they
wish.
let if they let Natty, not Natalia, if they let Natty be released and let
See.
Natty have
I
that
understand what you're
final
saying.
run, then we'd have that story for Natty. We're
So,
having
so I
stories for
got. I
men.
first of all, where were you in Vegas where we were doing the Cauliflower Alley club thing back when was
It
it?
was a
August
few
we were like
months
at
ago.
Natty was there with TJ,
Yeah,
and we
I
got a chance to
know.
talk and catch
Yeah.
up and everything like that. And so she had at that point just started doing like somehow she was allowed to work a couple like indie shows or whatever it was,
In
which again
R
had not ever
ROW,
happened. And that was sort of where this new kind of version of
NWA.
her, which is really the old version of her,
Yeah.
is kind of manifesting itself. You know, if anybody deserves to have that last run,
It's easy.
respectfully to Uncle Alan, it might be Natty more than anything.
Yeah.
And you said it beautifully there as far as uh, just kind of I wish I would agree with you if they had done more to get that presentation of her on television and
Yep.
over the past few months.
And
And
it's
I don't
only
know if they have.
because she said after
Right.
she gets rid of Maxine, she's going to Becky. So it's like technically no. So I really on the women's side, I have no idea where I want to go with it, but I'm excited to see who's gonna jump out and surprise me. I feel like there's a few surprises coming on both sides. Um, so we shall see.
Well, you brought it up. Surprises. What uh, I said before, the Rumble is my favorite WWE event and has been for 35 years or whatever it's been now. One of the reasons is because you always have that surprise. I remember all the way back to the first pay-per-view Rumble where number 1 and number 2 were Axe and Smash of Demolition,
Oh,
and they beat the crap out of each other for 3 minutes until number 3 was Andre the Giant came out, and that was how that Rumble started, and that was where I was hooked. This is a young me right away. I'm like, this is incredible. Um, so, but there's AJ is one of the greatest examples of that Rumble surprise in the history of the Royal Rumble. John Cena's return, Triple H. No, it wasn't
Edge.
H at that. Edge. Edge was
Yeah.
so we talk about the Road Warrior Pap, we would
Yes.
call it, but like, and you have several moments like that. That was one of them. Ziggler winning the World Championship the night after
Amazing.
WrestleMania when he did that, just where the crowd just you know it's I got
So good.
goosebumps. Like really, I literally have goosebumps right now, like saying like these things, and like you get those. You know what I mean? But surprises are why I love that. Who's coming back? Who's going to get that debut like spot? Who's coming in? Who's the signing that we didn't know was done with AEW? Powerhouse Hobbs
Yeah.
is, so you get, but those are the moments you're looking out for, and and you have 30 opportunities to create that moment in the Rumble itself. So who would be your, I guess, surprise pick to enter the Rumble? And obviously, it's going to be mostly new signings, the occasional WWE legend that comes back for that spot,
Mhm.
um, like Trish and Lita and those girls have done
Mhm.
for a few years here. Do you have somebody in mind besides Will Hobbs, who is heavily
Yeah.
rumored to be making his WWE debut here eminently?
Besides my buddy Will, um, that's the biggest thing too, because I was noticing who was on NXT this week. So, we already know Soul and JC, right? Because they weren't there. Where were they? Okay. Um, the surprise. I don't know if Jericho's really going to show up. I honestly am going to be shocked if it is him.
That's
That's like that's
That's a
really
thank you.
like
I
the
forgot
one.
completely about that,
Um,
but that's a rumor that his deal in AEW expired. He's been obviously uh involved in other projects
mhm,
over the past year or whatever like that. He's been off television for a while.
could be.
Jericho could be that guy,
Now here's
you know.
one, just based off of today. What if Ava shows up in the ring after a couple years of not being in the ring? Because she just stepped down as the NXT general manager today. What if she shows up in the ring? I mean, she doesn't have, it's not like she has to win or anything,
Listen,
but
you're
what if
fun.
she
This
shows
is fun. Like because you think like these are the kind of like
up?
see, these are the things like for a wrestling fan, these are those kind of weird conspiracy theories
Stay
that
tuned, you guys. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths over here. You never know. Just stay tuned.
that'd be a good pick. Do you think that well here's something that I've
Definitely some
noticed.
TNAs.
Well, so uh, we've seen uh NXT call-ups sometimes lose a little bit of that shine when they get caught up to the main roster. We've
Right.
seen guys down there in NXT that have been amazing, and not that they're not amazing up on SmackDown or Raw, but they are presented differently, or they're working with people now that don't understand their
Mhm.
character because they haven't been there in promo class for 3 years and
Right.
understand kind of how to like present them. So do you think that like the mainstream fans would even well, not they would know who she was, but, like, is that the kind of thing that if we're looking for that like, Jericho, I think, is that sort of
Mhm.
pop, that holy crap kind of pop is Jericho. But it's gotta be that level
Right.
of
I,
guy,
I
you know what I
I'm
mean?
and that's why I'm like, I really don't know if there's really going to be too much on the women's side. They may just focus on bringing in, the NXT, the WWE women, maybe some legends, um, maybe, maybe a TNA woman, but it's not the TNA women I want to see.
Who's
But
it? Who? I
so
mean, like Jordan's there. Jordan's going
the
to be
Jordan,
there.
yeah, Jordan's there doesn't count. I want to see
Right.
Tasha Steele. That's just me. I'm a Tasha Steele fan. I love that feisty woman,
Ooh.
but
I
but
was going to say it's hard not to be a fan of her for lots of reasons. So yes,
she's not gonna show up. It's gonna be like, maybe someone from the Elegance brand or something like that. If it was gonna be, but I don't really see. Even then, I really don't see many TNA women coming. So I feel like the women's gonna be a shocker. It may just be a returning Bianca after her injured knuckle. Um,
that's the big rumor there.
so
From current roster people, it's Bianca on the women's side. For me, it's Seth on the men's side. However, Seth is on ESPN promoting the things, so he's
yeah.
stateside, or at least he was
He said
this
he's
morning
home
or whatever it was.
watching his daughter, so
Well, but also
but the last time he said, yeah,
he's said a
it's
couple
like,
things about
"Are
his
you gonna
legs
fool
not
me
ready,
twice?
and
Are you gonna
right,
fool me twice?" So, yeah, I
that.
mean, you know what? I guess we'll see. Tune in and take some notes.
All right. On that note,
I got some bragging rights on the line in one of my groups. I got
listen,
2 random numbers, and can't even remember which one is, but I want my numbers to win. So whoever it is, they better win.
there needs to be more sports betting on professional wrestling, as everything else gets exposed for being a work. At least wrestling is true to itself. You have to go eat. I think
Yes,
we've
I
done a great job for a just on the fly, no format, no idea what we were doing, and that's a shoot, brother.
Yes.
We're just happy to do it though. So shout out to the Falcons Nest. Thank you guys for giving me the confidence to do this. Obviously, Ashley, thank you so much for spending some time with us trying to figure this out. We'll see you soon, probably.
I think so.
All right. Enjoy the Rumble tomorrow, guys. Thank you all
Yes,
for being
sir.
fans. Subscribe to the Falcons Nest. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. Bye.
Bye, babies.